So, when we last left off, you all had made your way through the streets of Aiden and met up with a old friend of Holgir's, uh, an infernal imp that had grown in size and power, both physically and metaphysically speaking, collecting various items of uh, intrigue and power over the years of various adventurers trading in goods that they no longer needed. And you managed to get a sponsor for your race. After a long day of battling a kraken and enjoying the festivities, you all make your way to the high rise. What used to be a local bar, it's less of a dive now and more of a homestead, an inn, a tavern. Arthas puts you all up. He's taking care of your food and your stay here while you are willing to help him with this race. And you all have a pleasant evening, enjoying a long rest, and then waking up the next morning to the smell of freshly brewed coffee and the sights and sounds of people sort of milling about in this rustic sort of establishment. You can see that there's older people that are just sort of milling about. The sun is just barely starting to rise up above the water, the last touch of its circumference leaving the water's edge, casting this orange ripple across the surface of the water. The streets outside are very much in a bustle, and people are bringing in their ships and going out, and there's just a general bustle about. But you all are free to move about the space and partake in some breakfast that Arthas has also paid for. But the important things to do today would be figure out some sort of, though it is not necessary, it is highly recommended that your party come up with a theme for your vessel. Whatever sort of costumes and paraphernalia you want to gather, whatever weapons and armaments, and either for defense or offense, whatever sort of tools and utilities you want to gather onto the ship and manage before the race tomorrow. On the side, there are some other festivities happening today. There is a wrestling tournament that is happening. There is also an eating contest that's happening later in the afternoon. And then at the end of the day, there's going to be the final workshop extravaganza where people can bring in objects or things that they have created by themselves and have an impromptu sale. People are allowed to cast their votes and offer not just their ballots, but also the prizes that they're willing to or prices that they're willing to pay for the various items that are entered into the contest. So if any of those things interest you, let me know. But for the most part, this will be planning amongst your party members. What would you like to do today?
I think we should determine what kind of design we want and go ahead and put it together ahead of time. That way we don't accidentally have to rush tomorrow.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, why not?
So, are we gonna use paint, or are we going to like engrave it on to the boat?
I'm thinking paints and bits of cloth will help us. We just need to actually have a design in mind, really.
The Stug has been
Personally
stripped down to
speaking.
its base components, so you can add whatever sort of things you want onto it without fear of weighing it down too much.
Hmm.
Yeah, it seems that we don't have a lot of
Always
things
make
in
it look like
common.
Could always just make it a big shark. Let's see. Design it to look like a hole in reality. That seems to be about one of the few things we have in common.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, could like. I guess like the ring around it could like little cracks in the center of it. Could be like kind of a starry sky.
Wait, I just
Have a
realized something. If we have a sponsor, aren't we supposed like show our brand or something?
Oh, that's a very good point. Let me go run and talk to Beale, see if he has a design in mind. Or any requests, really.
You hear a sound coming from your pocket, and you you realize that one of your stones is speaking, and Beale's talking, and he says, yes, so Holgir, it seems that there is an issue. They want to know what sort of vessel that you will be presenting. Mostly on the paperwork. I'm doing the paperwork right now. They need to know what your name is that I'm entering in here. I was going to just put down your name, but they actually need like a team name or a vessel name. And you can basically just talk to him through the stone.
Oh, okay. The vessel is known as the Stug. I believe. Are we all cool with? Oh, what was the Fate Finders? Johnny's idea. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Fate Finders. Piloted by the Stug, piloted by the Fate Finders.
Okay.
Do they need to know ahead of time, Bill, what the design is?
I mean, this is just sort of me letting you like have an easy way out. If you guys want to take some time right now to discuss amongst yourselves, in or out of character, sort of whatever you would like to do.
Oh, that's fair.
Would you like me to give you
I won't
some
lie.
examples of other racers? Or should I keep those a surprise?
Sure.
I kind of wanted to keep them a surprise, but I think you've probably seen some of the designs or whatever.
I mean, you can give us some of the common ones. My thought was like, make like a design on the sails and then have like the centerpiece be a mirror, like make it look like a crack and it reflects whatever is in front of us. That way it's more of a ever-changing design. Makes it look more like a portal.
Yeah, probably could.
That's cool.
There's a.
I-
Okay, go ahead.
Nah, I'm probably could, like we could like weld some mirrors on there.
Some mirrors?
Yeah,
Like rear view mirrors or like Archimedes mirrors?
Yeah, just go ahead and set fire to all of our competitors.
I mean, that is kind of the whole point behind this, right? It's almost less of a race and more of like a route. Have you guys ever watched Speed Racer or anything, or see like those races where it's no holds barred and it's like last man standing kind of race?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
yeah.
is.
Oh, they're so going down.
Oh, that kind of race.
Should I stay in the boat, or should I just like start sinking ships?
You have to stay on your own ship. That's the one rule. If you leave your vessel, you are considered disqualified. You can jump from your vessel to another vessel, but if you're just like going around in the water, that's not okay. You can't have like. There are special rules about having more than one vehicle, or having like a vehicle that separates. Okay. So if you guys want to Herbie the Love Bug like split in half or whatever, you can do that, but you just have to be the same thing when you come across the finish line. Basically, what I'm saying is that you can't just like jump off of the boat and then fly to the finish line. You know what I mean? Like, this is a boat race, okay? The boat has to make it.
There goes the polymorph plan.
My plan wasn't
Just
like,
turn into a
crazy,
kaiju and
just, like,
chuck the boat.
I
my,
mean,
I could do that. That would be funny as hell. But I was more thinking of destroying other boats.
Oh, you can absolutely destroy other boats. That's absolutely something to do.
Mm.
What's the rule set on potentially harming other pilots?
Go
Crew?
for it.
Oh,
There are
okay.
no rules. See,
Straight up murder for the sake of murder is kind of frowned upon, but if you want to impale someone to stop them from passing you, that you can do that.
so you shouldn't. But there's no thing
This
stopping.
isn't supposed to be a blood sport, but it does get very intense. The idea here is more of like vehicular combat and not just like, let's make a big platform with 20 mages that shoot fireball as we pass, you know. Now, there is one vessel that's like a big old Viking ship that has like the headmast breeze fire. And that's like, okay.
That is pretty cool.
And I pick a piece of the
So?
boat. What do you mean, Freddy?
I wonder how I can mess with people's minds.
Oh, goodness. Again, try to think of like vehicle combat.
Vehicle.
Oh, well, that works too. What if I put Liamon's tiny hut on the very front of our ship and just ram into people?
Yeah, I mean there is a ship that's all about ramming other vessels.
Well, I was just thinking Liamon's tiny hut because it's technically invincible. Didn't want to damage our own boat.
You know, I probably could maybe like make some like blades or like spikes on the sides of them.
Wait, didn't have like a flying ship? Are they in the competition too?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
That is a
Purely boats.
huge ship. It's not for the competition.
Well, any competitions you all would like to participate in before we start working on the ship?
Well, I was going to plan on doing the smithing competition, both of them.
I was thinking on joining the wrestling one, but I don't think I would be allowed.
Anything's
Why
allowed.
not?
Why is that?
Anything's allowed.
Like most of the wrestling moves barely work on me, and I was wrestling a Kraken yesterday. Do you really think that someone would have fun scaring against me?
I think people
about
are
it
more
this-
more than interested to try.
Yeah,
Think
I
about
think
it
that
this way.
me joining wouldn't be fun for everyone, but I think on being like on the first row and whoever is bold enough to try, I will apply.
Think about it this way. What an interesting champion they would have if you were to offer your services. The final round, besting the one who beat the Kraken.
The
Everybody
Kraken
would want to
wrestler.
join.
Sure.
The Kraken Crusher.
Also, what's the average distance a ship can usually be from each other?
Be from the shore? What?
Well, I had the thought of if I was within 60 foot of another ship, I could theoretically cast Mage Hand on the steering wheel and then crank a 90, thus causing them to flip.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Nice.
I mean, I'll have to. You'll have to do a roll, but
Is magic allowed or prohibited?
everything's allowed.
It's gonna get nutty.
Really, the only specific rule is that damage done between riders is fine, but if you want to straight up attack the ship, you need to either, board them and take them out, or have your ship actually do something.
Oh, so we can't just straight up knock holes in other people's ships,
Not
just as
unless
we're
you're
passing
on
by.
them.
We gotta actually. Okay.
Yeah, if you could board the ship, you can do whatever you want. That's kind of the only stipulation, because again, there are people that just go full.
Yeah, just go Elder Scrolls 300 feet of, are both 300 feet away.
And again, this isn't me like trying to tell you guys can't do stuff. I'm just trying to be clear about the sort of setting that it's going for.
Nah, I gotcha. I think we're more or less not really solid on what sort of design we want to do for the ship.
Okay. And that's why you
But
guys
I
can take some
think
time to do that now if you want to. Or we can literally decide that next session if you just want to spend this session doing other stuff. Basically, today is like the final preparation day, so any sort of downtime activities you want to do, we can do that. But if you guys also just want to jump straight to the race, we can do that too. But I'm trying not to rush you, but I'm also trying to make sure that you guys don't feel stuck or lost or whatever.
I got you. I think we got a few events we want to participate in first, and then we'll move on to the actual
Okay.
race.
So, I'm gonna be using magic. I'm just gonna stick with brought up. Just drains off.
What are you talking about over there?
Just like, he just
I
Just
think he's just
scribbling his
looking his
notes.
options. I think we can agree that trying to board us is a pretty dumb idea. Because the moment someone gets close to us, there's like me, Johnny, and Freddy like puncturing holes through their ship as soon as they like try to lower the planks.
Because I want something that can dish out stuff from a distance.
Wait, I just think of something that would be really funny. Don't you have the Moses sword that can cut up the oceans?
Yeah.
Can't you just stick a boat to the bottom of the ocean by removing the water underneath it?
I mean, yeah.
I feel like I should remind you all that murder is generally frowned upon.
I'm not saying about murder. I'm saying about their boats just crashing on the ocean floor, and then when the
like,
water comes
like
up,
partially sinking the boat, partially.
yeah, they partially sink the boat. They just like hit the bottom of the ocean, and when the waters come back, all the wood starts to float again, bringing everyone back.
It's also a good idea to think about how you would stop your ship from getting sunk.
Mm.
Actual
just have-
mirrors aren't very. Go ahead.
I mean, if I could just not, I could just like, I could just down the boat and swing under it, under the ship.
Do we want to move on to the competitions?
I mean,
Is allowed.
yeah.
Yeah, there's another
Oh yeah,
one that's
I'm gonna.
light in it. You can jump on. That's not
What?
work. Huh?
I was gonna start making a weapon or something for the blacksmith competition.
Okay. You know what you would like to make?
Normal.
Maybe like a probably like a maybe like a probably a suit, like a piece of armor.
Okay. I'll say that you definitely have the time and materials to make whatever you want. Just depending upon what you want to make, we'll do a roll and see how well it turns out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do like what's it called? Like a full plate, like a breastplate.
Okay.
And would that mm, what do I need to roll for that?
I mean, if you're just making a normal piece of plate, I think just make a sleight of hand check, and you have advantage.
Yeah, then afterward I'm going to enchant it with something.
Oh, okay. Let's see how the crafting aspect of it works out.
Okay. The first roll is 17. So 17 for the
Okay.
crafting.
Yeah, it's easy enough for you to crank that sort of thing out. It's just a simple breastplate. What did you want to enchant it with?
Probably a few things. Probably for it to
So the more things that you want to enchant onto a single object, the more difficult it becomes.
okay.
And if you want to do something that you don't already know how to do, like if it's not on your list already, and you want to try and do something else, it will be considered experimenting.
Yeah, I'm probably going to like experiment more or less.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check then. And what's the effect you're trying to put on it?
Mm, Probably like some form of like protection. Well, not protection, like yeah, protection more or less from like a specific element.
Oh, okay. Sure. What element would you like it to be? You want to do cold since that would be like water damage and whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you get for your Arcana check?
I rolled once and it was a 15.
Okay, yeah, you can easily put cold resistance onto this breastplate.
Okay. And
And if you
I'll
want to put
do an-
anything else up, it'll be a little bit harder.
okay, I'll probably do another one as well. Probably make it lighter.
Okay. That'll be a little bit difficult, but go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Okay. 19.
Okay. You feel like you're getting pretty close to maxing out what you can do with this thing, but you're starting to feel a little on edge of whether or not you want to push it with something else at this point. But you feel very confident about what you've got so far.
Okay. I think that'll do it for now.
Okay.
Like so for like the for the like making it ahead of time portion of it, is it like only one item or can it be multiple?
They limit it to one per person.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, if you wanted to make a full set of armor, you could try and do that.
Nah.
Okay.
And that's all I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Do we want to do the actual competitions? Or do we want to skip to the race?
Yeah, I was gonna do the competition.
Okay. You were gonna do the wrestling one, right?
No, I'm going to do the blacksmith competitions.
Is it blacksmiths first, then wrestling?
I think
No,
it's wrestling
blacksmith-
first.
Yeah, blacksmith is dead last.
I mean, probably for the most part, the wrestling competition is going to go until there's no more challengers. So it could end, immediately this morning, or it could go till sunset, depending upon how badly people are getting beaten and if it looks like the challenger looks unbeatable,
Okay.
So that's why I advertised it first, because it could be over almost immediately, or it could last all day.
I'll go ahead and... Wrestling would be like an athletics check, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you gonna set
Double
the
check.
competitions or? I mean, like, so everyone wants to do like various competitions.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't want to worry about planning and preparation right now, we can do those competitions now, and then we could cut back later. Or if you just want to try and decide to do that in between now and next session, whatever sort of theme you want for your vessel. Or maybe you guys can just be thinking about it while people are doing other stuff.
Yep. Probably just, like think about it in between.
Okay. So maybe next session we'll start the race, and then we can just sort of start the episode by saying what you guys did or whatever. Okay.
That makes sense.
This might be a fairly
I
short
am-
episode then, because there's not a whole lot that I actually have planned, other than I want to give you guys agency to craft stuff and do stuff and plan stuff and whatnot. But yeah, we can get going with that nonsense. So
I do have another shenanigans suggestion.
oh
If I were to cast an illusion on an enemy's boat, say a wall in front of the captain's view? Would that keep pace with the ship, or would it just basically the ship just drive right through it?
Depends on if you do it on the water or on the vessel. Like if you did hallucinatory terrain.
It was basically just gonna be like minor illusion, a wall in front of the captain's face, basically.
All right. I don't think you know what minor illusion is capable of. So
Sorry.
I'm pulling it up right now. You create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts for the duration. The illusion also ends if you dismiss it. You create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It can be your voice or someone else's voice, a lion's roar, beating of drums, or any other sound you choose. Sound continues unabated through duration. If you create an image of an object, such as a chair, muddy footprints, or a small chest, it must be no larger than 5 foot cube. The image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other sensory effect. It's just a visual image. Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion. So, if you want to make a wall, it would just be like a tiny 5 foot wall.
Now, this might be like a Pandora's box kind of suggestion. But what if I put the illusion of a box on the captain's head?
I'm all for getting creative with spells, especially illusions and whatnot. The biggest problem is that you would create something that doesn't move. So you would either have to put it on the water or put it on the boat, because the instant that you put it on someone, it just sort of, they would move through it and they would see that it's an illusion, they would see that it's fake, and they wouldn't believe it anymore, which means that they can just sort of move out of the way. If you're trying to hold the position of an illusion over someone's face to blind them, I'm going to say that would be like a contested skill check against their athletics versus your spellcasting attack, basically. If you're just trying to throw a blindfold over them, basically. If you're trying to confuse them by putting an octopus on their head, they'd be like, whoa, for a second, but then realize that it's not real. Because, one, where did that octopus come from? Two, that octopus isn't physically there. So there's all sorts of these special things with doing illusions and whatnot, which, depending upon the situation, will require role play and performance, checks and other roles and whatnot. So I'm not going to give a hard and fast answer to your question, but I am letting you know that something like minor illusion is a minor illusion for a reason. It is something that is not very spectacular, it is not that impressive, and it is not that deceiving. If you want to use it creatively, like trying to blind someone, that's something that could work. But if you're trying to convince someone that a wall appeared out of nowhere to try and make them veer away, that would be very hard to pull off. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
If you
I've
wanted to
also
make a
found spell that
dolphin
does
fly out
exactly
of the
what I want.
water to confuse them, you could do that, but that would be pushing it a little bit, because that would be like something that moves out of just the 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot cube, because you'd be moving the illusion and whatnot. And there actually is like spells for stuff like animated illusion, which is why I try to be very specific when it comes to spells and what you can do with them, because there is so many spells that you can get to do specific things. But I'm all for whatever sort of small illusions that you want to make up. If you want to do something like hallucinatory terrain, that affects bigger areas. There's also major image that does important stuff like that. There's also phantasmal force, which affects someone's mind, and they themselves see something. So There's all sorts of things that you can do, depending upon what you want to do. So if you guys want to prepare spells for next session or whatever, I don't remember which classes can change their spells or whatnot, but I honestly don't care either, so.
Cleric and druid, technically.
I think you guys can, like, change your spells when you level up, no matter what class you are, so that's why I made sure that you guys leveled up before the race.
Oh, okay.
I'm also not that much of a stickler. I don't care if you change your spells. Most of you don't have spells. I think there's like some specific rule that only like wizards and clerics can change their spells over a long rest, and that's it. Like no other class can change their spells at any point in time unless you level up and gain new spells.
Yeah, 'cause
I
then,
think
like,
it's clerics, druids, paladins.
Yeah, they could
Clerics,
Whenever,
druids.
like,
Could-
yeah, because
Clerics and druids on a long rest, and then
There's a bunch of
wizards on
strange,
a,
benign
long
rules
rest
that I
if they've
just
got a book.
hate, so I just don't bother with that nonsense.
All the ships are powered by wind, right? They've all
No,
sailboats.
most of the ships are actually
Oh.
magical.
Oh,
Even Arthas's ship is magical. It's got that sort of like wheel, like a ferry wheel at the back, but it paddles pretty quickly. Yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
But there is also a general magic on the skiff itself to propel it forward. Because again, this thing is kind of like a one of those swamp boats. That's the term I was looking for.
Oh, like one of those fan boats.
Yeah, basically, but no fan.
Gotcha.
Just sort of magically powered to move forward. But yeah, that's also actually another important piece of information. The race starts here in the Gulf, and goes along the edge of the beach and through the rocks and whatnot until you make your way inland through this sort of narrow, twisting ravine, passing through a swamp area. So a lot of what this race is not just about speed, but maneuverability and adaptability. And once it gets through this marshland, then it goes into an even tighter cave system before going up this winding river up the mountainside to basically the top.
And all the boats can fit?
I mean, as you get further and further along the course, the pathway gets narrower and narrower, so the only way to pass someone is to destroy them and move through them.
Oh.
Yeah. So it starts open here on the ocean, just going along the beach, and then it goes through the marshland, then it goes through caves, and then it's just a single river. So it keeps getting more and more intense. But Arthas is a good pilot, so he'll be the one steering you guys around and putting you into position and whatnot. And all you guys have to do is keep the boat afloat and keep everyone off you guys or destroy everybody else. So yeah, if you guys want to figure out something like a system to get you to and from boats, whether that's a harpoon system or making sure that you have spells to teleport back and forth, something so that you can, raid vessels, dismantle them, and then get back. You could figure out that sort of system you want, or figure out if you want to put a ballista or a flame cannon on your boat in order to physically battle the other boats with your boat. But it seems like a lot of you guys have very recently just geared up with a bunch of personal magic items. So
I mean, you got some sick, awesome knife. Got some sick, nasty items. That's not.
Totally not me forgetting I was muted this whole.
to be fair,
Oh, yeah.
you've got some really buff guys on your team. So if you want a fastball special back and forth, you can absolutely do that. You just have to make sure not to fall in the water, because you will be left behind. And that's it. It's sort of a hard and fast rule that if you fall in the water, you are considered out. If you can find a way to get back onto your boat, you probably won't get noticed. But yeah, just because it's like never happened before. I know that we do have some fast swimmers in this party as well, but just generally try not to get knocked off because it'll be hard to get back.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I speak to you real quick?
You may speak to me at any time.
All right. I wish to discuss a plan with you.
All right, your wish is granted. Thanks for using your birthday wish. No, I'm just kidding.
Poof.
Should we begin planning?
All right, I'm gonna put back on the music for you guys being in the high dive. You're still like sitting on couches or whatever. Maybe you've like stepped aside to a smoking room or something. Oh, he wants to actually talk to you in a different VC.
Yeah.
I got you.
I imagine his plan like, what if we assemble like a small tripod on the boat and we put me on the tripod and I just like start firing lightning at them. So it's a weapon ship, not me.
It's like a gunner seat.
If you guys could find a way to harness and like funnel like, I don't know, Freddy's lightning breath into like a charged weapon or something, you can do that.
No, I'm talking something more like Doom Eternal. When you get the BFG, you find like that big gun, and when you get there, it's just like a small gun that's doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just like Freddy inside of like a big like contraption. It's just him like breathing lightning.
Yeah, if you guys want to craft magical ammo to chuck or whatever tomorrow, this would be the day to do it. And that's basically what this session is. I figured mostly going to be is like a bunch of crafting rolls and whatnot. But yeah.
I can see my plans for the race being: we get ahead, I get on the back of the ship, plant on the doors, and we keep going.
Do you want to like find or fashion some sort of like whole body slingshot so that you can launch people?
Or like a spell skull Gatling gun.
That would be cool. I think like a big like slingshot or the fastball special, but I would have to throw like Havelock for consistency because he can come back easily with his spear.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he could
No
also
one
just
has skill.
throw his spear too. So
Yeah, but I think that the speed of the flying the fastball is funnier.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna walk around, probably looking for like, maybe like an item, more or less, with kind of like what's that item called? Something similar to the gloves of the glove of like narration, something like that.
Yeah, we found something that reads whatever text you like push
Yeah.
put your hand over or something.
Yeah, kind of look for something like that, like in various stores. Hello?
What?
Yeah, can I look for like something similar to the Gloves of Narration Whole Gear has? Not Havelock, I think. Where like if I touch an eye with a glove, it'll like say it aloud.
Oh, you want the gloves that read stuff for you?
Yeah, like something similar to that.
Yeah, you can absolutely find another item like that. You could probably win it on the street if you wanted to do like the strength test again or something.
Okay.
Or if you have any items you want to trade around for it or whatnot.
Don't really have much trade anymore.
Oh, okay. You want to participate in that? There. How about this? There's like an axe throwing competition.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Make two strength checks. You get two
Two?
axes. It's just a strength check to throw something.
Okay. First one was 12.
Okay. First axe kind of hits a little bit low on the bullseye, but it still sticks in.
The other one was an 11.
11 for the second one?
Yep.
Yeah, you hit the first axe and it just sort of... You knock them both off. You guys back?
You've returned.
I am. I think it needs you, Sparrow.
Johnny's trying to win one of those pairs of gloves that read stuff out loud.
Ooh.
Just so you know, those gloves you actually have to trace over the thing that you want read aloud. You can't just like command it to speak.
Okay.
It'll be a silver to play again. If you want to play again, Johnny.
Yes, I will.
All right, roll me 2 strength checks. And actually, I think they would be athletics checks, because that would give you proficiency.
Oh, I need to speak to you next, Sparrow.
Okay. Well, you
18
can-
for the first roll.
What for the first one?
18.
Oh, that's just next to the bullseye. That's probably the closest anyone's seen all day.
And 12 for the second roll.
Okay, again, a little bit low. You do win a small prize, but if you want to keep playing, you can earn your way up to a big prize.
I will.
All right, another silver piece. Roll 2 athletics checks. Also, Freddy, you could type me your message. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
I figured out I have a defuse plan. Cause
If you guys want to talk real quick, I can go talk to Freddy real quick and be right back. But I want to finish my thing with Johnny first.
okay.
15 for first roll, second a 13.
Okay. That's another small prize. You can get a medium prize or keep playing for a big prize.
I think I would have to talk to you, Sparrow, because it probably would require a few rolls.
Oh, and actually the gloves are a medium prize. So yes, you have one. Go ahead and add I believe it's called the narrator. Is that what I called him?
I think so.
Let me check Havelock's inventory real quick. Actually, I'll just check my... Oops.
So right now I have 8 coins, silver.
Gloves of the Tome. That's what they're called.
Okay. Gloves of the Tome.
Yep. So you can add that to your character sheet. And then I guess I'll go talk to Freddy.
I think he's back.
Yeah,
All right, I'll be
he's
back.
back right now. He's here.
All right. Tell me your idea.
Alright, so firstly I want to run this by you real quick. So is there any way I could possibly cut the spell Eldritch Blast in half? Like cut its power in half.
Which spell?
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. You want to cut it in half. What does that mean?
So instead of using its full power, I only want to use it to like stun like the other boat riders.
Well,
Is
I
that
mean, you can
possible?
deal non-lethal damage.
Okay.
But also, if you're trying to, like, shoot a specific thing, like if you're trying to hit somebody's hand or their head, like if you're trying to blind them or knock a weapon out of their hand, that would be a called shot, which you would have disadvantage. Just nothing can give you advantage. It's just a straight up disadvantage roll. And then you're not rolling to deal damage. You're rolling to hit someone to do an effect. But you can use whatever sort of weapon or ability you want. So yes, you can use Eldritch Blast. You could frickin' use your Lightning Breath if you want to. But yeah.
Second question. Is there a possibility I could learn a new spell during the boat race?
You want to learn a spell during the race.
Yes.
Why don't you want to learn it today, the day before the race?
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking like, oh, the thought that was going through my head was like, this. I was like,
This is the
time
final
not
day
something I
before the
have.
race. All sort of preparations you want to do now. You guys fought a Kraken yesterday. You guys got a pass. Today's the final day.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna look at some abilities.
You're just going window shopping for a spell you don't even know what you want?
I'm gonna look through it first.
Well, freaking... You can't just ask to learn any sort of spell if you don't even know what it is. That's not what this is about.
You're asking like what kind of new ability I want?
If you want to learn an ability or spell, you can find someone to teach it to you. It'll be kind of hard-pressed because this is last minute and it might cost a pretty penny, but you could probably do it. Have someone teach you something.
Okay, thank you.
Normally, for stuff like learning stuff, it would be a week of downtime, but I'm willing to do it in one day if it's something reasonable. I'm not
Okay.
going to give you the Fey touched feats unless you find a Fey to touch you, you know? If you want to get the tough feat, you're going to have to do a week's worth of training, like on a mountaintop with like buckets full of rocks or whatever, you know? But if there's a spell or ability you want, there's a way to make it happen. I just need you to tell me what you not want, not me let you know what options are available. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I gotta find someone who can physically teach me the ability.
All right,
and
Holgear wanted to talk to me, so you want to
Yeah.
get back to me?
Is that...
All right, Holgear, you wanted to talk?
Oh, I just had a question.
Yes.
If I were to cast command word flee on a pirate, or not necessarily a pirate captain, but just a captain, would they either turn the ship or would they jump off the ship?
As always, I think it depends on the person and how badly they fail. If there's someone that's
okay.
relatively intelligent, they may understand that fleeing is simply like maneuvering away from your vessel and may speed up and pass you. You know, that's not immediately like,
Oh.
let me, drown us and like jump overboard or bury us into the shore, And depending upon how intelligent the individual is, they may understand the word
Gotcha.
differently.
Yeah, and another question about the gloves.
Yes.
Could they read out the spell scrolls?
I mean, they would read the spell scrolls aloud. They would not activate the spell scrolls. Because the reason for that is because the trigger for a spell scroll is not it being written, it read aloud. It's by somebody using them. And there are many different ways that can happen. But it requires someone actually using them. So you can't just like slap your hand on a page and rub your hand around and hope that it works. You have to actually commit to using it in whichever fashion that is, whether that's chucking it with a lit end towards somebody, if that's, opening it up and reading the incantation, if that's like strapping it to a weapon and pulling the trigger so it launches the magic, there are different ways to use a spell scroll.
Okay.
I think
Also,
John is trying to do this, to like put on a weapon, but he's using the glove to do it. I think he wants to use the glove as a component to something else.
spell scrolls are not like normal spells. Spells require incantations with either verbal components, somatic components, or material components. Spell scrolls have all of that information prepared, so all you have to do is basically like throw the page open and it releases the spell. That's basically how a spell scroll works. But it gets immediately used up. You can't redo it, it doesn't take anything to use a spell. There actually is a cardinal rule about the only people that can use spell scrolls are people that already know magic. I don't know if it's specifically that you have to already know that spell, or if you have to just be able to cast a spell. Because
I think
that's
this
such a
spell
stupid.
must be on your class list.
That's so stupid, because that like ruins the whole point of a spell scroll. A spell scroll
The point
should
that
be.
You would be able to cast spells that you normally wouldn't, like higher level spells.
Yeah,
Or
and
save
all it costs is
spell
gold.
slots for later. Yeah.
If you go into a town and build a bunch of spell scrolls, you wouldn't be able to sell them because nobody here can use magic, because nobody uses magic, and I think that's just stupid. I think that your spell scrolls would sell better because people can't use magic, and so a spell scroll would be the way to get them access to magic. That's the whole point behind a spell scroll, in my opinion. So I think anybody can use a spell scroll. All it takes is an action and the spell goes through.
Okay.
But I mean, it still requires that person to activate it, to hold concentration or whatever. I don't think there is a way that you can jerry-rig something to cast a spell for you without literally summoning another entity that's capable of spell casting. Really, the only way to automate it would be to enchant an object with a spell effect, similar to, Magic Mouth, or, there is like runes that you can cast onto stuff. And obviously you can enchant an entire spell onto a scroll or just about anything that you want. You could freaking cast or enchant a spell onto the whole of your ship so that when something bumps into you, it activates, or, you know, whatever trigger you want. There are multiple ways to use stuff other than just casting them or putting it on a spell scroll.
Okay.
And you are a very talented magical user and enchanter. Before I forget, Holgear, the very important thing about the command spell is that you cannot force the person to harm themselves, to actively harm themselves. So they will follow the instructions as best as they can, as long as it's, you know, not actively. You can't tell someone to, you know, decapitate, you know, because one, their head can't
It's
just
not
immediately pop
command
off.
word suicide.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I do not like the term auto-defenestrate, which means leap through a window. If the area that they were leaping through the window towards was not harmful, I would absolutely allow it. But the stories that I always see people using them is that they jumped out of a window of like a 20-story tower, and that just wouldn't work because that's not how the spell works. Because otherwise command would be very broken.
I was just gonna stick with flee, just since it would make people go away from us, theoretically.
The only way you could use like on this way that you can use it to cause harm for the people, and you end up doing this piece of like jump to the window if you have like a portable hole or something, and you put like on the other side of the window without the person knowing, so you just jump thinking, oh, there's the floor on the other side of it.
Oh yeah, if you put like an illusion or like a picture window and then told them to jump through it, they wouldn't know any better. So they would actively be hurting themselves. But they can't actively choose knowingly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You can deceive them.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Doing it, but
Also, I would say that the Stug is probably on the average of the speed, maneuverability, and acceleration aspects. There are some ships that are smaller than you that may be a little bit faster, but could get knocked over in a stiff wind. And then there's some ships that are definitely bigger than you, but can't maneuver as well. Yeah.
So, who here is good with bows?
I am good with boats. I've been a crew on a few at this point.
Okay. You're probably gonna maybe look for like spell scrolls to have like a fireball or some kind of evocation, like spell, and like imbue the spell scrolls into the arrows so they can be shot out.
That's gonna be a lot of money. Because most militaries don't have that.
It might be easier to just enchant an item with Firebolt. Like a ring, or a bracelet, or a wand.
Okay.
Again, I'm not saying that you can't make 50 scrolls of Fireball and then launch them.
Theoretically, isn't an arrow just a really pointy wand?
Yeah. But that's the reason why enchanted ammo is so expensive, is because you have to enchant each individual piece. And you can always miss, so it's better just to enchant it onto the actual bow than the arrows. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. More bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Literally.
For the bug
I
to
get this
rock, though?
question all the time.
So Sparrow, last session I got this enchanted bottle that whoever drinks from it instantly get drunk.
Yes.
Right. I have proficiency with Poisoner's Kit. Can I try to turn this magical booze into gas and we work with like smoke grenades?
Oh, that's brilliant. That's ingenuity. Heck yeah. I don't know what to make your roll with this. Probably this has got to be. I'm thinking survival. Because you're
Maybe,
dealing with toxic stuff or whatnot. Unless you feel like there's a skill that would be more prevalent. One that you're
mean,
skilled with.
I have proficiency with the kit itself.
Okay, so whatever
if it's a tool
whatever your
check,
skill
right?
you roll, you will be adding your proficiency bonus to it. But I will require you to make some sort of skill check. I'm just trying to decide if this is like sleight of hand of handling the caustic materials or whatever, and
Yeah,
putting it into bottles or
I
whatnot.
think I'll roll light of hand.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
And you would say something?
Yeah. I think maybe medicine or nature.
I was gonna say, because this is not a single action, you have the day to work on this. You have advantage.
Oh, okay. And just to clarify, I went around playing a few games. I'll be spending I don't know, 8 gold to play in the game multiple times and get more bottles of that, so I can have more ammo. If we can stack the price that we get, we can.
How about you roll me a D100, and then we'll just sort of give an average of how well you sort of been doing with games. How does that sound?
Okay. Sure. D100. And that's at 27.
Okay.
Pretty bad.
You've been playing a bunch of games, and you haven't been able to win big enough to get a medium prize. You've kind of been shifting about and just sort of getting frustrated with a bunch of different games. I'll say that you're able to win a few small prizes and can trade up to win 2 more bottles of this. But these again are big bottles. This is like a wine bottle. So
Yeah.
you've got a lot to work with. But first and foremost, what did you get for your sleight of hand check? And we'll see how many.
I'm going to roll this right now.
Okay.
So I'll be using my passive ability of the Cloud Rune and the Fire Giant Rune. Cloud Rune gives me advantage on Light of Hand and Deception, and the Fire one gives me double proficiency with those checks, so that's...
So are you already proficient with sleight of hand?
I'm proficient with... Yeah, I'm proficient with Light of Hand.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check. Just do that.
Yeah, I just rolled that, and I got a 26, and I double my proficiency, so that's 30.
30. Okay. And you have advantage. So did you already roll with advantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
With advantage was a 12 and 20.
And specifically, you were going for gases. So you're trying to turn these into area of effect things. These aren't you're not turning these into arrows, right? These aren't per
Yeah.
person. This is a big arrow.
I want to throw into a ship and mess around in the ship, regardless where I hit.
Okay. With that, I'm going to say Oh man, I'm trying to figure out the best way. I think what you're trying to go for is like 30-foot radius spheres of
I
gas.
don't need to be like 30 foot. Like not even fireball is bad. I think 15, 20 is good enough.
Well, I'm thinking of like poison cloud. Or, is that a spell?
Yeah, it is.
Cloud kill.
Cloud kill. That's what it is. Yeah, that's a 20-foot radius sphere. So yeah, let's say that you make with a 30 of just using the one bottle, because we'll do this per bottle. You make let's see. I'm gonna say. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how much that would actually be. You know what? I'll roll for it, because I think it could be this much per dice. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna go for anyway. So you got 3 uses of like cloud kill, but instead of poisoning, you make them drunk.
Cool.
And they instantaneously fail. And that's just one bottle. So if you want to use another bottle, you've got 2 more. We've decided.
Okay.
You can go ahead and roll sleight of hand again. I mean, sleight of hand is the general crafting check, anyways. But
Yeah.
for
21.
enchanting,
And the last one is 26.
okay. I'll say that's 2 more cloud kills.
With 21 and 26.
Yep.
Okay.
And then roll for the last model.
That was 21 was one of them. The other bottle was 26.
Oh, okay. Then I'll say, yeah, 21 and 26 are 2 uses each. So
Okay, so
that would
7
be
total.
a total of 7 uses that you've got. 7 throwable instantaneous cloud kills of instant drunk. Not too bad. Also, hello, Havelock.
Hey.
People
Just
are
came
doing
out.
preparations for the boat race tomorrow. People are prepping magic items to shoot fireballs and drunk clouds of gas. Anything you want to do?
We guys working this shit.
Freaking hard. Gonna be honest with you guys, I'm sick right now, so I'm heading out.
Oh, you're sick?
Yeah, I just came in here to tell you guys I'm not gonna be a part of this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you can always listen to the session. Let us know if you want to do something before next week.
Oh, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, we're
but-
just big chilling.
No, that's what I
Alright,
mean.
I'll
Like
do one.
tomorrow, you can listen to the session or whatever. But generally, this session's just like doing checks to see if we can craft stuff. But any ideas that you want before next session.
Slap, right, that's it.
Okay. See you next week.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Freddy,
See
you've
ya.
been slapped. Deal with it.
What do you say?
Freddy
John,
just
like,
stood there
what
and got
for?
slapped.
I'm sorry, I'm falling asleep over here.
Oh, okay. Well, if you also want to call it, we can talk more before next session about if there's anything you want to do. But yeah, if you don't have any sort of preparations you want to do,
that I can think of is getting the boat at least a little bit prepped. Go talk to Beal about what sort of design he wants for being our sponsor. And...
Oh, the design is completely up to you guys.
Oh.
Like, even the other boats that have sponsors. Yeah, like, there's someone that got, like, a sponsor from, like, I don't know, a bank or, you know, like, a stock business or whatever. But, you know, they don't make their ships look like, you know, a bank or whatever.
Well, sure, but I
mean,
still
if they really
slap
wanted to do something
Beal's
clever, they could do, like, the
natural
Dragon's Horde or
items.
whatever. But the design is completely up to you, is what I'm trying to say. If you want to make it look like an infernal imp, you can, but you don't have to. Most people are going like sea monsters or whatever.
That's fair. Maybe I'll just do like a little more of an intricate design while everybody else is being a smith, wrestling, or, you know, smacking the other.
Do like a full NASCAR riding the symbol on the side. Just put like the details.
Do sort of like side. I want to do like a little side mural where it's basically filigree the details, but like, you remember the old, like, I don't know if it's a wives' tale or if it actually exists, the sticker on the $5 bill? I want to do like a little imp on like the hiding behind the eye or in details.
Okay.
You know, devil in the details.
How about you make a sleight of hand or performance check?
I will gladly make a performance check.
I'll help him.
Okay, you can give him advantage. I mean, I was going to let you guys have advantage anyways, because you have the whole day to work on this. It's not like it's 5 minutes before the guard walks around the corner and you have to make it look perfect, you know.
Good thing, too, because that first one was a 2 for an 11. The second one was a 14 for a 23.
Okay, yes. It looks brilliant and beautiful. It actually looks embossed, even though you just painted it on.
And
maybe you got like a little magic paint
so
that glows or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably like a little
so
light.
it's got a little. Yeah, I'm glad our fantasy ship has RGB.
It looks neon.
But I suppose the only real thing we can do to prep the ship is to get like harpoons and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to
like
try and go buy that or whatever.
I can try and make
yeah, try and put like 2 each on either side and get some harpoons with ropes on it in case we need to make our way back across them. Or should we just do one on either side?
There's not that many of us.
Arthas explains that it'll be actually fairly easy to go between ship to ship unless you're trying to catch one of the smaller ones. Because like the bigger ones will literally like come up alongside you and try to bully you. So you'll literally be like inches away from each other.
Oh, they're gonna try and broadside us.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's like the biggest thing that happens.
Oh, they will not know what hit them.
Yeah. So unless you specifically want to try and spear some of the smaller ones that are like your guys' size or smaller, like there's one that's kind of like just a kayak basically. There's like one mad lad in a kayak.
I mean, I like to
Kayak.
imagine. You know those, oh hell, you know those diesel outboard motors that they have in like Africa or Indonesia? They've just got those massive outboard motors that just send it. I like to imagine it's something like that.
No, it's literally Popeye in a kayak. He's just got like big, beefy arms. It's just sitting there. To be fair, try to capsize him. Just try and capsize him. He also doesn't have a sponsorship. He is his own sponsor. He owns the lighthouse and just like has been participating in this event since its inception. And he's just so old that all the other ships have gotten bigger, but he's still sticking it out as a one-person vehicle.
Gotta respect the hustle.
Why is he playing an oboe?
Because you have to cast animate objects on your kayak.
Wait, no, that's a clarinet. My mistake.
They're pretty close. I'll give you a mulligan on your musical instrument knowledge.
Well, I didn't see the top part until he moved his hands out of the way. Anywho, yeah, there's actually like one big vessel that the front part of it is literally just like an open mouth, and it like tries to gobble up the smaller boats and just like crush them.
Interesting.
It's not an animated mouth. It's just got this intricate figurehead that carves through the water and like churns up inside the mouth. So if you get swallowed up in that water, it'll just bash you about against the teeth.
And I'm probably going to go just for a quick bit. I'm going to go back to the devil in the details. Well, in the details.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask him, like, do you have any of the black powder that, like, from the town I was in, that like animated, and the furniture and all that?
No, he does not. Not today, at least. He does know what you're talking about, though.
Oh well, with a shot.
Yeah, that would be wild to actually make some of these boats come to life.
I feel like horribly. If I'm not mistaken, last time it caused 2 people to become zombies and a lot of tables to try and kill everyone.
If it worked out fine, no one died.
I mean, imagine if you were a table and then suddenly came to life. How would you react?
Panic and run.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you wouldn't even have an idea of, like, self-defense. You wouldn't know what, like, life and death is. You would just, like, start doing stuff. You have, like, no self-preservation or anything. You wouldn't know what anything is.
Oh well. With a shot.
Yeah, I think you did ask last session and I said no, but I was willing to roll today. But still not in.
Last session I asked you for the thing Havelock had, but you said one per, like, we can only have one at a time.
Yeah, but then I think you did ask about the stuff. Anywho, Anyone want to win any more prizes or participate in any events?
The blacksmith competition.
Yep.
And didn't Sierra want to do the wrestling one?
Okay. We can quickly do the blacksmith competition and see how well you did.
Okay.
Johnny, how about you make a performance check for me?
Ooh, okay.
And this will just be a straight roll.
Performance. I'm not good at it. Oh, a 15.
Okay, yeah. You wait your turn and you're called up and you put it on stage and people start looking at it. I think a couple people ask you some questions about like who you are, where you're from, what sort of, things you're inspired by, why you make stuff or whatnot. And you give fairly reasonable answers. Nothing too weird or jarring. You're not used to being on stage, but you're doing fine. You're doing better than some of the other grubby people that have come up and been like, nah, I made this. So to start off with, you've got a better presentation with the audience. And now I'm going to roll. People do seem to be relatively interested. A lot of what's come up is basically weapons, just like a bunch of fancy daggers and swords and whatnot. So it's actually kind of a nice change of pace to see a piece of armor for once. So immediately people are kind of interested. There's murmurs. The judges are looking at it and kind of like giving each other like approving nods and side talking. And after a brief auction, you do win 92 gold for it.
Oh, sweet.
But now it's time to see if you win the prize. Unfortunately, you did not win first prize, but you do manage to range higher than most of the other competitors. And this goes on all day. So you probably come back and see the leaderboard at the end of the day, and there's some other things that people came in. Someone actually made an automaton. Someone did make like a small compact vessel. Someone made a like one of those pop-up tents, basically, but it's actually got some like magic stuff that makes it smaller on the inside, so you can literally walk into it. Like, there's some pretty interesting stuff that people make, but not to like say that what you made was not good for what it was, but there was some bigger things that you didn't even realize was on the table. So unfortunately, there were a few more people that were much more prepared and ready for this competition. They've probably been working on it all year.
Oh well, there's always another time.
Sorry. But yeah, I wanted to be fair. I didn't want to just, as one of the players, I didn't want to make you feel like, oh yes, and you win first prize because you guys win everything. I wanted to give you a fair competition, and you win amongst the top 20. And there's over, like, I think probably like 300 submissions. So yeah. You were probably on the top of the leaderboard for most of the day until some of the later and bigger submissions. But now do we want to head over to either the eating contest or the wrestling competition?
There is any of us in the eating contest?
Yeah, there's an eating contest.
I think I already struggled a lot of eating the other session.
I mean,
Well, if you guys want to eat, you can. You also don't have to.
well, you have like, well, you're kind of like part snake, so in like your stomach like basically your majority of your body.
To be fair, they do have several eating competitions. There's one that's like a bunch of kraken meat, just because they need to get rid of it somehow. But then there is also some corn on the cob, and then there's like a pie eating competition.
Nah, don't feel like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Goodness gracious!
What?
I don't
Fuck it.
know.
I'll give the eating competition a try. Why not?
Okay.
No idea what it'll happen.
So, how about you roll a D100 and then a Constitution saving throw?
D100.
Oh gosh, dang it! The video doesn't exist anymore.
50.
That's why.
58 and a dirty 20.
Okay. And which competition are you participating in? There's got like a vegetarian one, there's a meat one, there's a...
I'll do my part to help remove the kraken meat. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, in this one you do go up against some bigger and beefier gentlemen than you, and I think a lot of people are probably betting against you winning, because these men look like they could eat you with how big they are. There's like what is happening? Stop. There's like some orcs and some creature that looks like it ate Gorthalax with how big it is.
Oh no.
But unfortunately, they've been washing down their kraken with ale while you have not. And you actually make it quite far in the competition that you end up going up against just some of the last contenders. There is a half giant woman and a man that looks like he eats nothing but cake since he was born. And you can see that his suit is actually starting to bust at the seams. So now this is one final skill check. Go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw.
I puke. Not one.
Oh no.
I think I just see a piece of like dribble go down the big man's face, and I'm just like,
Yeah. So what happens in the competition is, I think you guys like get swapped to another table because they didn't expect you guys to go on this long. So I think they like move you off the stage because it's time for the vegetarian eating competition. And the judges kind of go off to the side as they start preparing that. And they sit you down at a table and you're just not feeling well. And I think even like they place the plates in front of you and you're just slowly watching it like looking less and less appetizing as they're still trying to like figure out, okay, and go. And you just like stick it in your mouth and just immediately put it back on the plate.
I think it just like chew it a couple of times, spit it into a napkin, pat each of my competitors on the back, and then waddle my way out.
Yeah. The lady, the half giant lady, is also looking a little bit kind of green despite her heritage, and slowly looks over at the big man who seems like he's a foot taller now. And he continues to wolf down his plate. Like, all the competitors are left and he's still eating, and then he eats your plate, and then he eats the lady's plate. I rolled a natural 20 for him.
That is impressive.
He's like, "Oh, is there any more?" And they're like, "You've won." But I want more. And they're like,
I think I'll
the
just
vegetarian competition is about to start. And he rolls over to the stage.
Oh no!
You do win a participation ribbon. Because
Yay.
they've never gotten to that point of the competition where they've actually ran out of time. And I'll say that if you just want to hawk that, you can get 5 gold pieces for it.
I'll put that over. It's a certified whole gear relic. He's gonna
That's a
get
badge
that
of
over the
honor.
wheel. Yeah. Go ahead and pin that on my little statuette in the back of Beal's thing.
It says, I was not consumed by the big man.
I mean, it's not wrong.
I participated in an eating competition and was not consumed. And all I
Yeah.
got for it was this ribbon. Okay. Wrestling competition. Holgear, do you want to?
Only if I cast a spell first.
Oh, what's the spell?
I'll cast Skill Empowerment, which gives me expertise, and I'm gonna make it athletics,
Okay.
which makes my athletics a +9.
You know, if I get some free time in between the blacksmithing, I'll also do it.
Oh, do you want to do an eating competition?
No, the wrestling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's head over to the wrestling competition. Let's put on this music. I don't know, because I don't know. Oh, come on.
I think after this, I'm gonna head out.
Yep. This will be the final thing. Let's see. How are we doing so far in the competition? So as you gather around, you can see that there's like this big old pit that probably was a hill when they first started, but it's a pit at this point, and it's so muddy. Like, the terrain has been just absolutely thrown up. Grass is everywhere, mud is everywhere. And it's when you approach that you actually realize that the one stipulation is that you have to wear full plate. So you see people in the pit just wearing full plate mail. It's a slow brawl. You don't really see people like throwing punches or doing any fly kicks or any fancy flips or tosses. It's literally just like bashing into each other and trying to drown each other in the mud.
I mean, I'll give it a shot, but I'm not holding out hope.
Okay. You want to go first, Holger?
Sure, why not?
Okay. As you approach the ring, they manage to lasso an individual and literally pull them out of the mud with a sickening slurping sound, as a figure kind of half crawling is just trying to stay standing in the thick of it. And you can see that there's just a lot of mud covering them. They barely have any holes to see or breathe out of. You quickly get donned with the armor and make your way into the ring. You are almost immediately sinking, but luckily you're not as big as most of these other people, so you're relatively maneuverable at this point. How would you like to approach this? Do you just want to go straight at him, or is there a strategy that you would like to employ here?
I think. If he's as stuck in the mud as everybody else, then I'm going to need to break the suction. So I think going low and sort of. You know how, like, people who are acting as security sort of like trace the limbs? I think I'm gonna go to like trace the limbs to break the seal the mud's made on them, and then sort of go for an over the shoulder toss.
I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'm almost more thinking of like a football sort of like going for the legs kind of tackle, but I will make my guy roll with disadvantage. And how about you roll an athletics check?
Okay. Let's see how this goes. 16.
So here's what happens. You kind of come in and let him swing at you and just maneuver out of him. And then as he's starting to move, you use his momentum against him and try to do this over the shoulder kind of toss flip thing. But he is so stuck in the mud that when you try to fling him over yourself, that he actually just hugs around you and falls right on top of you, planting you in the mud. So now you need to do a contest to try and escape. So go ahead and roll again. If you fail here, you will fail a competition.
22.
Are you kidding me?
No?
That's a tie. So I think you guys are just
Ooh.
rolling around in the mud at the moment. Let's go ahead and roll again. I got the same exact roll.
I don't think he's winning. I got a 29.
I got a 22 again. Okay, yeah, you managed to break free out of the hold. I think a lot of people are like, ooh, and people are starting to quickly change their bets as they realize that this pretty boy that's walked in here actually knows what he's doing. It's at this point that you realize that the man that you're fighting against is actually almost twice as big as you are, as he's fully come out of the mud now. He was mostly on his knees when you were fighting him before, and now that he's actually stood up, he's like I'm gonna say 10 feet tall.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Same error.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall. I'm gonna try
Indeed.
and go around and go for the back of his knees.
Okay. I will roll with disadvantage again, because I think you've got this movement thing on him.
25.
I got a 21. You managed to knock him down yet again. Go for the pin. Let's do another contest. This would be so amazing if you happen to win here.
Not this time. That's a 13.
Oh, okay. You managed to knock him down, and then people were like, go for the pin, and you just leap onto his back, and you just can't get your arms around him. He just slowly stands up, and you slide off of the backside of him, and then he wheels around. He's gonna come at you now. So make another check. This is intense.
21.
Okay. He manages.
Am I making anything at disadvantage?
No. Because what he's doing, it's not. He manages to grab you, and he doesn't grab you by the shoulders. He doesn't go for like the headlock or anything. He grabs you by your sides and lifts you up like a doll and just starts squeezing you in your sides. You need to roll to escape his grapple. So let's do another skilled contest.
Alright. I'm gonna try and plant a foot on his face and sort of jump away. That's a dirty 20 athletics check.
Unfortunately, I got a 22, and you plant your foot on his face, and he just keeps squeezing and squeezing, and eventually the metal starts buckling, and you feel actual real pain, and then people like start screaming and yelling, and it gets called off, and he kind of half drops you, half stumbles away, and you get towed out of the ring. But people are like shouting and cheering, and that was so unbelievably close. You have definitely worn this guy down a whole lot.
I just realized I could have really just royally if I cheated with spell. Well, more cheated with spell.
Well, I like the fact that you didn't. I mean, you could have used natural 20s or whatever, but you went for it, and I think that's even more impressive.
Yeah. If I had hit him with a hex beforehand, he would have had disadvantage. Well, he already did most of the time, but still.
I am going to roll to see how much people bet against you, though, and I'm gonna roll with advantage because people were really betting against you. You win 152 gold pieces.
Let's go.
People were really betting against you because they did not think that you were going to win. And this is actually one of the few times that you didn't just immediately lose. You actually held out until there was like a technicality win, which has not happened against this fighter yet. So I think they give you the bronze trophy by default. And then at the end of the day, the person that loses against this person will get either the silver or the gold. So because they think that it's going to end here now. There's basically 5 people left, and 3 of them are you guys. Oh, unless Johnny is not interacting with it.
No, I'm going to.
Okay. You want to go in, Johnny?
Yep.
Okay.
So, like, what are, like, the rules for it? Like, exactly.
Physical combat only. They do not want you to cast any spells. This is purely physical. Oh,
Okay.
and actually, I guess, Holgear, are you proficient with plate mail?
No.
Okay, well, that's fine anyways.
Nah, light armor, medium armor, shields, and studded leather.
I think that would have made your athletics with disadvantage, but that's I should have given just a straight. I actually, what I think I'll do is a straight minus to 5. Oh wait, Johnny, are you proficient with plate mail?
Yep, I am.
Oh, okay.
But I'm proficient with, like, all types of armor.
Heavy armor.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm
good to go
fighter.
then.
Okay.
But anyways, that was on me. So, do you have a strategy going into this, Johnny, or do you just want to straight up try to overpower him?
No, I'm probably gonna try to like actually like box him up. Like they're trying to wrestle him.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check. This'll be interesting. Oof.
Oh boy. Oh. Natural 1 for a total of 10.
Okay. You come
Oh.
up against him, and he sees that you're wearing this pristine armor that's nice and shiny, and it's still a little bit dirty, but it's not nearly as like crusted up as his is. And he sees you immediately come in with some footwork, putting your dukes up, and he sort of slowly, sluggishly tries to put up his arms because he is tired. He is so bad at this. What's your total of?
10.
Okay. It's really not that bad then. You do come in and you start planting a couple fists against him, but they're just sort of glancing shots, and he realizes this and then manages to get a grab on you with one of these. So let's go ahead and make. I think he automatically gets a grab on you for that natural 1. So now you're trying to escape his grapple. Oh,
So do I do another roll or not?
yeah, another athletics check.
Okay. 24.
Okay, yeah. I rolled a natural 1. So I think as he grabs you, you actually use this against him and manage to like pull around and just smack him off and send him straight into the mud, and he struggles to get back up. You want to go back in for more punches?
Yeah.
All right, let's do another contest. It's not great.
14.
Okay. You try to come at him with some punches, and he just puts up his big arms, and it's just an impenetrable defense. And you are unable to land any significant blows on him. And that's just sort of the situation at the moment. You can see that he's like recuperating, just like trying to get his breath back, because he is weary.
I mean, like I'll probably try to keep my distance, but kind of just do a bunch of try to
Okay.
keep the pressure on him more or less.
People are kind of booing that you're just sort of like taking a cautious approach and keeping your distance. And people kind of like start throwing stuff at you. But you can keep up this battle of attrition if you want to. You're like circling around him, and he's like struggling to stay standing.
No, I'm gonna help him up, like back like onto his feet.
Okay. Yeah, you go in and offer to help him up, and you help him stand up. And he just kind of gives you a nod, and then puts his dukes up again. Let's do another contest. He's gonna come at you.
$13.
Okay. You reach out a hand, and he has to like wait a second, and then he realizes you're helping him up. He's like, just sort of gives you a solemn nod, and then lands a punch directly into your face and sending you spinning to the ground. He does wait for you to stand back up. He does not go immediately for the pin. But how do you want to come at him now?
I'm just gonna run him, try to just give him a full right hook.
Okay. Let's roll a contest. Athletics contest.
25.
Okay. Yeah, and you're just like diving at him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you fully just like plant yourself into him, knocking him to the ground. It's like a slow fall, like a tree, just like, poof, and there's a big spray of mud. He needs to escape, so let's roll another athletics contest. That's not great.
Oh boy. God damn it. Another natural 1. For a total of 10.
Are you kidding me? Okay, I think as he like lands on the ground, it's such a big impact that you bounce off of him and go sprawling in the mud. And people are like, what, is that a pin? Or, he's not on top of him. And you both slowly stand up, just sort of like lazily looking at each other. And then he realizes that he needs to finish this, so he comes charging at you. Let's roll another athletics check. Never mind, that's a 1. He trips instantly and falls flat on his face. Do you want to go to pin him?
Yeah, I got a 14.
Okay.
Do I roll again?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say with 14 you can get on top of him.
And the second one was 23.
Okay. Oh my goodness. he starts to get up and you're like trying to weigh him down and you realize that your weight isn't enough. So you reach around and like try to pull his leg out from underneath of him. And you guys kind of like fall to a half. I rolled a 23. So we have to roll again. This is insanely close again. Can you hold him down?
Can't. 24.
I beat you by 1. He kind of like manages to get his knees underneath of him, and you guys are still locked, but you're no longer pinning him. So it's now anyone's game to try and pin the other one. So let's roll again.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh God. Jesus Christ. Natural 1 again.
All right, you slip and fall, and he lands right on top of you. Roll to escape. Come on. There's so many natural 1s in this competition.
24.
All right, you escape out from under him as he slips trying to pin you. Actually, I think he falls straight to the ground and you just manage to be in a really soft spot and just swim out from underneath of him. All right, roll to pin. Come on.
14.
No, unfortunately, he's able to get back up.
God. Just damn mate.
Come on. All right. One last check. You're kidding me.
Natural 20.
Natural 1. He slips and you land
Let's
right on top of
go.
it. Like, people are coming into the ring being like, okay, that's long enough with the challenger, and then you instantly pin him. And like, people have ropes. People are like ready to pull you out because you've been in for too long, and people are like, wait, he's on top of him. And this is it. This is the final roll to see if you win or if you lose. Roll me another check, please.
Okay.
In the background, you'll hear the sound of a lyre playing, and I will give you bardic inspiration. You may use it if you wish.
Are you gonna cheat?
Nah. A 14.
Okay, yeah.
Man,
He's
you're
like,
rolling in
he's
those
trying to
14.
move, he's struggling, and he just falls. He just plants, and he's not moving. And then people come over and hold your hand up. And it takes the entire crew, and actually a couple people from the audience, to come in and haul this figure out. And they just... They can't even like stand him up, so they just lean him up against the fence and just plant the silver on him. and you're pretty sure he's dead, except for the sound of just like heavy breathing, because they're just not moving at all. Sierra,
Yeah.
meet your new champion.
Yeah.
Bring it on, big boy.
How much did I
Bring it
get
on.
from that?
So, this will be a little bit different because I think we're gonna roll initiative and just go back and forth.
Yeah. 30,
Like,
20.
20 for Sierra. What did you get, Johnny?
12.
Okay, Sierra, you go first. You put on this plate mail. They actually do have plate mail that is managed to fit your entire body, even your tail. So you start to slither in there. It is immediately almost impossible to move. It is so difficult. But you have first go. I think you immediately like get down on your hands and just start crawling. But once you get close enough, you're able to sort of stand up a little bit. What do you want to do for your first move?
I'm going to my classic grappling.
All right.
KO attack. Just an athletics roll,
Okay.
right?
Yep. So both of you make
Usually-
athletics checks,
Okay.
and then Sierra, I think you get a bonus because you have your ability or whatever. I'm not exactly sure
I
how
need
that works.
to activate and grow in size, but I'm not using that. I got a 33.
Okay, Johnny, what'd you get?
15.
Okay. Johnny, you just are starting to stand up. People are cheering for you. And then you realize that people are like starting to yell at you. And then you turn around to see what people are pointing at. And immediately Sierra is just on you, just completely wrapped around you like an anaconda squeezing. You need to, both of you roll athletics checks to see if Sierra has you pinned or if you are able to escape.
Oh, nope. I failed that horribly.
30, 20.
13.
Okay. With that,
I'm holding him, like, almost like laying on my own body, like, come on, champion, do something.
immediately you just plant Johnny into the dirt. And it's over. They ding the bell, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, well, that was anticlimactic. I mean, unless you want to let him go, Sierra.
I'm going to, like, squeeze him harder so the mud make him, like, slip away.
You would just want to, like, squirt him out like a banana.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Johnny, make a dexterity saving throw. And Sierra, make a performance check.
19.
Okay.
7.
All right. You see that people are like kind of calling out, and I think Johnny manages to slip out of your grasp and start standing up, and people are like, "Wait, is it still going?" And then I guess you guys could keep going for each other if you want to.
I mean, I'm not gonna win for sure, but.
Okay. Roll athletics again.
I'm gonna try to sock him straight in the jaw for that.
Okay.
$28.
What'd you get,
30.
Sierra?
God,
What'd you get?
30.
Okay, here's the thing, Johnny. You come charging, and you're so sure that you're about to plant this fist, and it does, but unfortunately there's no movement, no force behind it, and you realize that that's because you've been swept up again. Both of you roll again to see if Johnny can escape.
Yeah, no, 17. You're 17.
17. What did you get, Sierra?
20.
Okay. Yeah, you squeeze Johnny again, and then people rush over and like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. And Sierra has won this competition.
Oh. Yeah, and from the previous fight, how much money did I get? Or did I get not?
It's when you go out, you see how much the pot has been betting against you. So I will roll that now.
I think you said had like 5 people left. I think I just stared at the last guy.
No, everyone else has given up. Like we're not going up against a snake. Johnny, you win 54 gold pieces. People were like excited that you were the winner, and so less people were betting against you. But Sierra, you were an unexpected new arrival. So you win 98 gold pieces. You also win the rest of the pot, which is 500 gold pieces.
Jeez.
At least we're making some bank at least.
Yeah, this was like a big competition, and you can see that the knight, he didn't get any money because nobody was betting against him. And he's just laying there, just completely unmoving, completely exhausted. I think like a couple people come over and like hose him down and prestidigitation, clean him up.
Yeah, I'll try to like cut him out of the suit so he can get up.
Okay.
I'm going to give him 200 gold for the spectacle, since he didn't get anything.
You're gonna what?
I'm going to give 200 gold to the knight.
Okay. As they start to take their armor off, you can see that actually what's in this armor is not a man at all, but is actually a large tabaxi with albino white fur with gray marks, stripes. That's the word I was looking for. And you can see a furrowed brow. They look like they're in sort of their older age, and tabaxis don't live for that long. So you would assume that they'd be about like middle-aged, maybe in their 60s or so. Still sort of like at the edge of their prime before they really hit it. And they just sort of look at you and just give a silent nod without really saying much of anything.
I just wished I was the one challenging you.
Yeah, that'd be a fun fight. I'm worn out. I honestly don't think I'd be much of a fight for you, little lady. Oh. Oh. Well, what's your name anyhow? Name's Damon.
I'm Sierra, that's Johnny.
Pleasure to meet you. You guys
Same
gonna
to
be
you.
participating in the boat race tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll see you then.
You put up a good fight there, man.
You too. What's your name?
Johnny Windraiser.
And who's your third friend? He looks familiar somehow.
Oh. Wait a minute. This is a mutton chops, is it?
Mutton chops. So you know my old man?
Oh my.
And that's where on tonight's session.